I think I would like to invite the next speakers from Brandfire, Mr. Kalarav. He will share about securing e-commerce site against cyber threats. And please welcome Mr. Kalarav Vasavada.
Apa kabar? Thank you so much, SIRCLO, for inviting me for this presentation. So, thank you all for joining me in this session. Today I'm going to discuss about e-commerce security and protection strategies. So, we all know that in last 2 years of pandemic, all the businesses have gone in e-commerce and digitalization. So, what are the importance of security in e-commerce? So, let's say, I hope you, how many of you are doing the development or are into, e-commerce development side? Can you raise your hands? Or most of you are merchants? Okay. So, the importance of, are you familiar with English, right? Comfortable? Yep. So, we will discuss about the strategy in e-commerce security and everything. So, myself, Kalarav Vasavada, I am working as a delivery manager in a Brainwire Infotech. I am Adobe certified business practitioner and Adobe certified professional developer. I love to do sessions with different team, and I am a speaker in many of the events, and I love to share the knowledge what I have gained. And I have trained many of customers and trainees to get the vibes on about the digital commerce and e-commerce. And I'm a Scrum certified Scrum Master. So I work as a Scrum Master also on a couple of projects. About Brainwire. So the company for which I am working, so it's a digital enabler company. I am based out of India. So I have traveled all the way from India to Indonesia, and thank you so much for all Indonesian people for giving me a warm welcome over here. I am thankful to them. Brainwire is a digital enabler company who is doing into artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, headless, PWA, and lot of things. We are having a 20 plus years of old company, and we are having our customer retention. We are having our group of company who worked in Asli, in Knowledge, CRM, and Control ERP. We are a gold partner with Adobe, and we are also a partner with Odoo, gold partner with Odoo as well. So all of you know the growth of e-commerce in last few years. So since 2019, as you can see, it's a constant rise. The brick and mortar business, in-store business, it is in red mark, and it is not grown in a sustainable manner as the e-commerce business has grown. So we are seeing the e-commerce chart is going high and high. So everybody who is doing the in-store business would be looking that I wanted to start the e-commerce business. So what are the challenges with it? So challenges is like which platform to choose. After choosing the platform, how to move forward, how to do the digital marketing. Is the implementing the platform itself is enough? No. Then after a lot of exercise are there. Magento, for which we are here, Adobe Commerce Platform, is one of the best platform for e-commerce business. Now you have set up the business, let's say, but if your commerce store does not have a good security, what would happen? Many people will hack your site. People will come to your site without knowing your knowledge, and you will lose the customer's confidence, your important data. Let's say this is a hole, and if we are not having a security standing outside of that, any malicious person can insert into the store, inside the hole, and it might impact to our system. So this is the ecosystem of e-commerce for which we are discussing how to implement the different type of security. So in B2B commerce, in specifically Asia Pacific, if you see the rise is constantly growing with the CAGR of 14.7% from 2020 to 2027. So the future plan and growth is amazingly described by the Grandview Research, who has done this research and provided this chart and everything. So growth opportunities are amazing and tremendous into the same. So how we will be handling this security, I will be more focusing onto that because many of you are aware what are the different platforms, what are the security things you are keeping into the same. So over here we are going to discuss mainly about Magento and its e-commerce security. So first let's understand what are the importance of security. So cyber security is an essential for e-commerce because cyber attacks can lead to loss of revenue, data, and your viability for business. It loses the trust of yours if you are not keeping a website secure. So there are security guidelines which needs to be followed for safe transactions on the internet. So whenever you are implementing any e-commerce website, so privacy, integrity, and authentication, it must be there onto the portal. If you are not keeping your data private to yourself only and if you are keeping it visible, let's say somebody of you knowing my credit card, you might be doing the transaction from the same, right? And I will lose all my money. So keeping the credit card data private, it has to be, there has to be integrity constraint that, okay, your data will not go anywhere. There has to be authenticated, like, okay, yes, you are verifying that this is the right and authenticated data. Then only you are doing the same. So I have planned a whole structure over here, you can see. So what best e-commerce practices you should follow? So it's you have to have PCI compliance, you have to have security guidelines, SSL certificate, antivirus software, firewall. So firewall is similar to the security guard what we are talking. So firewall is a digital security guard who is stopping malicious customers or malicious people entering to your website from a security point of view. CDN, and you should have a good payment gateway security. So those who are, familiar with the like threat and police department and everything. So CIA is a buzzword. So I have created a model, CIA model. It's a confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Your content should not be available for all. It should be available only for the customers who is placing the order. It has to be confidential, and it is integrity constraint has to be followed for the same. And in order to manage the security issues, security measures, digital commerce, for your website, you should have security threats and online security shopping guidelines. Let's go one by one. I will be more focusing on the implementation part. So it is from development point of view and merchant point of view both. I have combined the track in a manner so that, let's say, if you are a merchant, if you are a person who is working with e-commerce business, then you can follow these guidelines. So you should have a secure password. You should have secure hosting options. So like we are having a company like whih Cloud over here. So you should go with the secure hosting options. You must have SSL certificate to be installed in your system whenever e-commerce development you are doing. You should have proper security plugins and anti-malware software into your system. There should be regular site updates. So whatever platform software you are using, there has to be regular website updates for the plugins or malwares, whatever are being dispatched. So there are security patches which is being distributed by the platform. So you must have that on the time. Schedule backups, you have to make it because backups are very important. Whenever you lose something, so your backup will help you to restore your data, database of customer and code level and everything. You should add multi-factor authentication. So many of you might be familiar with the two-factor authentications which is being provided. So when there will be OTP come to your mobile and then only you can go and move forward. So that type of things are there. So it is only your mobile number, you are getting OTP and then you are moving forward. So that sort of mechanism should be there. CDN, Content Delivery Network, there are a lot of benefits. We will learn that into moving forward sessions. There should be user roles and permissions. So whenever any websites being developed, what people generally do is give the admin rights to a person and that admin person can do anything into the same. So it should not be like that. It has to be properly permission and everything has to be set up. And then only it has to be go further into the website. Use proper secure payment methods and PCI standards. So we are having a lot of payment partners over here, Zendit, Durian Pay, etc. So they have their own payment standards. So you must see that they are following with the PCI standards and their data, your customer's credit card or any other data not being stored anywhere and it is being helpful to the customer. Just from the security perspective. So that's what avoids storing the confidential data and understand. And we will also discuss how artificial intelligence and crypto will be helping us for making this payment stuff and everything secure. Because artificial intelligence and crypto are the buzzwords, and how it can help to manage our website e-commerce security that we will be looking forward. So for the password, there are certain parameters you should be following. So see, this is very general. I mean, it is not specific to e-commerce only. Again, I would tell, whatever password you are using, let's say you are doing for your mobile or maybe your Gmail account. So there are certain standards. What a complex password means, it should have a symbol with lowercase, uppercase combinations, and it has to be a long password. I have find out one very good combinations where how a password can be hacked in what amount of time, that I will show you in the next slide. So people are usually using the very simple password 12345 or admin123 or something and leave it as it is. So it is very easy for hacker to get that password, assume that, and crack your website. So your admin, once it is cracked, or your database, once it is cracked, it is difficult to then save your data and everything. Then you have to restore from the backup something, because if the malicious script or something being injected into your system, you cannot refrain from it. So you have to keep changing your passwords on frequent basis. Like I said today, some password, if I don't change it for years on years, there are chances that people can easily grab it and judge it. So keep changing your password, most probably whenever you are doing any hosting, your admin panel. So all these passwords needs to be changed on time-to-time basis. There has to be very strict password confidentiality. You should not keep your birthday or your any identification number or your home address, which is very common. I mean, anybody can identify, like, okay, person, if I can find, he can find me today in Kino Tower. So it should not be with the similar names or something. So then it will be easy. Then you should also implement the reCAPTCHA as well, because reCAPTCHA will able to identify you. It is not a bot, and it's a human who is doing this whole flow and process. So that way, it will be definitely going to impact and help to track your customer, that it's a human who is doing the stuff. And yeah, in the database, so those who are developer, the database password has to be kept into encrypted mode. It should not be decrypted. So anybody even can go to the database, should not able to find out what is that password all about. So see, in 2022, if you are talking, so if your password is of 4 character and it is just number, it can be identified instantly. So similarly, there is a permutations and combinations. So what should be the ideal time? So, I mean, there are bots, there are hacking algorithms which are available, which can easily identify your password. So if you see if your password is more than 10 digit or something, and if it is having a lot many different combinations, in that case, there are less chances that it can be identified instantly, or it takes some amount of time. So ideal one is like around 14-digit password, or even we can go 13-digit password, and with uppercase, lowercase letter, or even you can go with number, uppercase, lowercase letters, and the 11-character one is also a good combination, that at least for a hacker it will take around 3 years of time just to guess that password, and you can keep changing the password. So this permutation and combination will be well fit into the same. So here is the admin panel screenshot of Adobe Commerce or Magento, I would say. So in that, these are the security features already predefined and available. So we must use this and we must follow this, because these things are in platform by default available. So if we follow this, the chances that your website will get hacked will be very less. So you should keep your password should be protection type should be with IP and email address. You have to maximum number of reset options and everything. So all these are standards which I have mentioned, password lifetime. So after 90 days, your password should be automatically expired, so that you will be forcefully asked to change the password. And so there is an option. So it's last, I'm not sure if it is readable, but there is a option that forceful password change. So these things you should be putting onto the same. Your login should be case sensitive or sensitive, so that all things you should be taking care onto the same. Choose a secure hosting provider. So after selecting a best password, combination, you should go with the good hosting provider who is helping you to take the backups on time, who is helping you to provide the good SSL options, DDoS protection, and they are having all the features for the security part. So choosing a reliable hosting provider will make your website more secure, and your data storage on the e-commerce store will be essential because you are storing your code, your database and everything onto your hosting platform itself. So hosting platform has to be most secure, because if it is not secure, then the chances of getting hack your website and losing your data are much more. It has to be like whatever the hosting options are there, it has options for malware detection and everything. They are keep running and executing the scripts into the background, which will check and do the site audit that if there are any malwares, it can be identified, it can be informed to the customer or a developer, and then they can take the necessary actions onto the same. And yes, as I mentioned previously, timely backup are must. So there should be automated backup system and everything, which is taking backup of your source code, taking backup of your database. So that way you will able to save your site from any unwanted issues. SSL certificate and its benefits. So we saw in the previous slides, there are a couple of things you should be taking care. So what are the benefits of SSL certificate? You might, many of you are aware or might be hearing that site has to have SSL certificate. So it's a secret socket layer. So secure socket layer protocol, it has to be there onto the website. So many of the websites you are seeing, it would be having HTTPS instead of HTTP. So that S stands for secure socket layer. So your website is secured, and your customer who is doing the website, so you might be seeing a small lock sign also on top of your URL and in your address bar. So that lock sign says like, okay, your website is SSL protected. So there are a couple of company who is providing the SSL certificate. So see, I have showcased this lock over here. The image is wide stretched, so it might not be properly visible, but this is showcasing like, okay, from where this SSL certificate and everything has been taken and the site is secure. So these are a couple of websites, GoDaddy, Domain, DigiCert, Bluehost. There are a lot of, but I have listed out a couple of 5-6 websites over here, which you can take care in order to buy the certificate. This certificate will be not much costly even. You have to buy it on every year for renewal, and you have to just ask your development team to get it installed and make sure that your website is secure. And it will also help your website for digital marketing, and Google also bring your rank up if your website is secure rather than it's just HTTP. Regular site updates and timely backup. So backup we already discussed, like how it has to be taken, because if your code is corrupted, if there is any malicious JavaScript or any code has been injected, then you can surely take the recent backup and just start with your website rather than wasting time for debugging the stuff like what is stopping your website and everything. And regular site updates. So as I mentioned, if you are using let's say WooCommerce or Magento, Shopify, BigCommerce, any platform if you are using, then whatever the standard updates are coming, you have to take care of the same. Magento is releasing version on every time to time. So let's say whatever latest version it is there right now, 2.4.4 is ongoing, and 2.5 will become 4.5 will be coming in very soon time. So you should have your website up and running with the latest version. You should ask your system integration agency to keep your website platform on the latest version of latest stable version of whatever platform you are using. That way, the chances of any patches or any vulnerability which is being introduced by any of the system can be detected, and it can be handled very easily. We discussed like what are the benefits of multi-factor authentications and content delivery network. So multi-factor authentication, as I mentioned, it can be two-factor authentications. You can go with the Google Authenticator. There is an application which is available. There is a code being generated into the same. You have to put that code into the specific way, and then only it go ahead and allow you to access the system. So, and there is OTP system which we have already discussed. There are features like your retina scan, your finger scan and everything, apart from your username and password. So such systems can help you to protect your website or system from being hacked easily, because it just the username and password combinations are very easy to identify, and hackers can directly go into it. But if you are having all these different mechanisms, then it is not that easy for them to access the system. So what is multi-factor authentication? It is you know something, you have something, and then you get the access. So you know username and password, okay. But if you have something like you have that OTP or something which is allowing you to go ahead, then that combinations only allow you to get the access. Then only that is considered as a part of multi-factor authentication. So for the CDN, we are having a couple of partners or suggested options: Cloudflare, Akamai, Lambda, and Fastly. Lambda is a tool being introduced by AWS, and Fastly is also by default available into Adobe Commerce Cloud. And so you can use this CDN network, technologies. And CDN is basically nothing but a distributed servers that routes users' requests to server to their closest location. So if you are utilizing your website from Indonesia and your target customer base is, let's say, Singapore or Malaysia or Philippines, so then you should set up the content delivery network in such a way that your customer, when they're accessing website, it should not route through Indonesia all the way. It should be route through from that specific location. That way the site will load faster. With the CDN, we are loading the images, some contents and everything, or videos and everything. So site traffic will be widespread, and it will be easy to handle this request from all these locations. And so time frame will be shortened. As faster as your website will be, you will see more number of orders available into the same. So for security plugins and anti-malware, so I mean, whoever are having a laptops or utilizing any system, so whenever you install any operating system, first thing you are doing is installing the antivirus software, right? Because when you are using internet, there are chances that any file which is malicious being downloaded on the on your laptop might corrupt your data, you might lose many of your data, and your system might get corrupted. So what are the important security plugins and malware software? Let's see about it. So for Genix website security scan, so such scanning mechanisms will allow you should keep doing this scanning on time-to-time basis in order to have your website being renewed from reviewed from all these malfunctioning practices. So these security scanners will have their updated database in which there are all the malicious script which is coming. They are storing that in database, so it helps to identify. So there are a couple of malwares like AVG, antivirus, McAfee, Norton, and ES Security, Avast, Sophos. There are a lot of such anti-malware solutions which are available. So you can use any of these, and you can do that. Sucuri is one of the best possible scanning mechanism. So with Sucuri, you can just scan your website, and it will give you the detailed report from where it is happening and which files are being impacted. User roles and permission. So definitely, as you know, everybody, that my role today is a speaker, somebody's role is as an attendee. So person is well aware what role it has been defined and what task they have to do. So similarly in admin panel, we should not give admin permission to all the persons. Whenever you set up any website, so in Magento eCommerce, there are all these user roles and everything available. So couple of access rights does not require to be given to all the persons. So you should set up the admin role, or you should set up the different roles, and accordingly you should give the permission. So there are access control list extensions or plugins available into the Magento itself, which you can utilize, and you can give the more access roles to the people. So by regulating user roles and permissions, you can restrict who can perform the task, installing updates or making changes into the theme, plugin, or changing any PHP code. So definitely it will protect your website in a nice manner. Use the secure payment gateway. So what is considered to be a secure payment gateway? So we need to understand that whatever payment gateway is having a data encryption which is following the SSL guidelines, it is having a secure electronic transaction, and which is having a PCI DSS compliance being followed. then only it is being considered as a secure payment gateway. So there are a lot of payment gateway. I have noted down some over here like PayPal, Google Pay, Apple Pay, but you can see over here Xendit, even Durian Pay, or whatever the payment gateways are available over here. I mean, you should go with the same standard payment gateway system which are secure. You should not store any confidential data of your customer onto your website, because sensitive information which is being stored into the website might harm you, because if your website being hacked, then your customer might sue you because his data was given to you, and it is your duty who could not protect the data. So if my credit card being stored on any of the website or application, and if it is being, the website is hacked, and if my credit card will go to some other people, I might lose the trust on that website. So sensitive information of the website should not be stored on the website, or if it is stored, it has to be in encrypted mode, and all the security manners has to be managed onto the same. Whatever data you are storing into the website, like if you are storing something into your USB drive or disks or even hard drives, so these things where hacker cannot be easily able to access, because your laptop or your computer system access are within you only. It is not accessible to the worldwide people. So make sure whatever such things are there, you keep it in your local system and not keeping it easily accessible to the world itself. And companies that would process the personal data. So you might be knowing that in the European region and US nowadays, there is accept cookie policy is there, right? So that cookie policy asks you whether you would like to allow your customer to store their data into the system or not. Without consent, you should not store any of the customer's data on your portal, because it is like you are taking the consent. Yes, I am allowing you to store the data onto the system, and then you are moving forward with the same. With this, you can have good, it is good practices for the web analytics, marketing, and other business functions as well, because it will really going to help that further into doing that analysis part if you are taking the consideration on the same. So we have gone through a couple of things, but these I have listed out couple of Adobe Commerce security features. Adobe Commerce as in Magento. The name just changed, but otherwise everything else remains as it is. So the platform which is having a best password management tools, it is having a flexible file permissions, like you can set from the backend file permissions and everything. You must go with the latest Magento version, which I have described. Must use the CAPTCHA for admin and front end, both the part. Your admin URL has to be changed. It should not be website/admin or something. It has to be website/something complex, which cannot be easily identified by any of the person. Then it will definitely going to help you in protecting your website admin panel from rest of the world by easily guessing the same. Change default admin password, and as I mentioned, use the strong password. Limit login attempts. So if somebody is trying for multiple times, we should stop the access of the website after a few attempts and then log the user. So you might be aware or familiar, like if you are trying your credit card, and if you are using the wrong OTP or wrong password of your credit card or a debit card, for example, after some attempts, it is getting blocked or locked. And then after you have to go to your respective bank and ask like, hey, unlock my credit card. So that is the same mechanism, that it is stopping your self from trying multiple operations and going onto the wrong manner. You should take frequent backups. You should have good managed cloud hosting. So AWS hosting is being provided by Adobe Commerce Cloud itself, which is one of the best hosting, again, in terms of hosting, if you are thinking from the Adobe Commerce Cloud perspective. Whatever IP is constantly hitting to your website, you should have a list of that IP. Your hosting provider can easily give you the idea. So you should block such unwanted IP who are trying to hit your website and making your website unsecure. You should identify whatever plugins or platforms you are utilizing onto the portal. It has to come from Adobe Marketplace only. It should not be unverified by Adobe Marketplace, because any company who is developing a extension into the market, and we are not sure if it is authentic, if it is sustainably identified or verified by any specific company. So Adobe Commerce having a standards, and their Magento Marketplace is having a mechanism. If you are following and pass through from the security aspect, then only it is approving. So we should go with that. And there are certain coding standards which must have to be followed for the same. And you should stop your website from, that will help you to stop the cross-site scripting, XSS attacks, and session hijacking and SQL injection onto the same. So AI definitely is going to be a buzzword, and for the security perspective, how to utilize the artificial intelligence. So as I mentioned, you should have planned properly for network security. You can have behavior analytics into the same, like, okay, who is trying to hack your system, who is trying to constantly engaging your system. So based on the same, you can protect your website from the analytics parts, detecting spam emails. So there are spam email detectors who is helping you to identify whether the email address is spam or it's genuinely verified. So such tools are available with the artificial intelligence, which can help you to make your website more secure. And artificial intelligence is, you can do with the biometric authentications, as I mentioned, with the facial recognitions, retina recognitions. So such things are available which can be helpful to you. And definitely, artificial intelligence is a buzzword, and many of the investors are nowadays investing into the artificial intelligence. So you can see down the line, year on year, the investment into the US dollar billions is keep increasing, and the planning is up to $7 billion by 2025. So in a nutshell, what we have learned, I will go through one by one. So we should take regular backups of site files and database. We should make sure secure server and admin dashboard. Payment gateway has to be secure. Firewall and anti-malware has to be there. And timely security audit and scanning. So once your website is developed, you should not just sit, relax. You should keep doing auditing and checking the website on random basis to identify nothing is loose. So everyone prefers a secure platform for buying products online. If you are not ensuring security for your visitors, they will leave and might never come back. So it is must that you should have a secure website, and in many cases of breaches, when it is there, so vulnerability patches are already available, but just because lacking of our laziness, we are losing the customer's trust, and we are not implementing that patches, and we are losing the website trust because of hacking into the same website. So thank you so much. That's all from my side today. You have any questions, you can ask right now, or you can connect me on my email address and all the social media, which I'm using, LinkedIn or Twitter, or maybe you can touch base to my contact number as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Do you have any questions, guys, for Mr. Kalarav? Stay here first, Mr. I think definitely I will change my password after this one.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I can protect my data, I can protect my everything, so it's for unwanted conditions there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kalarav.
Yep.